Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Into the Underground, the podcast where we interview musicians or whoever's in the metal scene or whatnot. Now, I'd like to introduce to you a very special guest, probably a top three death metal drummers of all time. And this is Alex Marquise. He's been in Solstice, he's been in Malevolent Creation, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Well, it's Marquez, by the way, but it's cool.
Or, oh, Marquez? I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I thought it was
No,
Marquise or whatever.
I get that all the time. No worries.
All right, but yeah, so how are you today before we get into the interview?
I'm good, brother. Happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. I was listening to a lot of Malevolent Creation and Solstice recently, so that's why I was like, maybe I should get Marquez on here because the more I listen to your drumming, the more forward thinking I should say you are for the genre. And
Thank
I've
you.
done some things like research and all that to where I understand like where your background is and all that. So the first question I want to get to is before music came into your life, what was your main interest and how did music come into your life?
Music. I saw Kiss on TV when I was like 5 years old, and that was the end for me. I've been a rocker since then and a metalhead since I turned 10 years old.
That's
So
great.
it's always been metal, and I was into playing football. I thought I had delusions of being a football player, but too slow.
Yeah. Before I got into metal, I actually wanted to be like a video game creator or like a cartoonist.
That's cool. That's
But then I
cool.
did hear shit like, well, it wasn't again. Another wasn't necessarily metal, but the bands that got me into music were shit like Nirvana and Green Day, just because my siblings were into them or whatever.
Of course, that
And
makes
then I
sense.
and then I got into Metallica, and the first thing I remember hearing was Enter Sandman. I was like, this is kind of cool, but also a bit of a novelty. Then I heard Ride of the Lightning. And I was like, this shit is awesome. I want to get into more of this.
Best Metallica record ever.
For me, it's Master of Puppets.
Everybody has those two, and they're both amazing. But Ride the Lightning, and I get flack because I'm not a big Kill 'Em All guy. It's all right, I guess. But Ride the Lightning is perfection, man. That album, and so's Master, actually, to be honest with you, and Injustice. Those three. By the time the Black album came out, I was already into death metal and shit. So I was like, even heavy metal took a backseat for a while because it was all about Terrorizer and Vader and all that crap. You know what I mean? We were all into that. The faster, the better. And that's why Retribution turned out kind of the way it did.
That's awesome to
That's,
hear.
oh, it's Slayer, Rain and Blood. Without Rain and Blood, there is no Retribution.
That's great to hear because that is my favorite Slayer album of all time, like everyone else's. I said Hell Awaits for the longest time, but I don't.
I'm a Halloween guy. But I love Rain and Blood, obviously.
Yeah, I understand why a lot of people love not Rain Blood, but Hell Awaits. It is my third favorite of the Slayer first five Slayer albums, or third favorite overall because I kind of don't do anything after Divine Intervention.
Neither do I. I don't even. I mean, Divine's all right. It's got a couple of good songs, but even that's already. I really love Show No Mercy too, the first album, even though it has no double bass or whatever. I love it. I think the songs are his voice is out of control on that album. All the highs are fucking perfect.
Yeah, I would say that I love Show No Mercy, but I've recently went through the first five albums again, and it's probably my least favorite of the first five, only because again the drum performance, it's the drum kit rather is incomplete, and a lot of songs aren't masterpieces like every album afterwards, or at least the next four albums. I mean, every song on Show No Mercy is great, but it's not a masterpiece like Hell Awaits, Ray and Blood, or even South of Heaven would be.
Haunting the Chapel too. I kind of count that with Show No, but it's got probably, if not my favorite, one of my favorite Slayer songs, Captor of Sin. I love that song. The Antichrist is amazing. There's some good songs on all those albums. All those albums are, you need that if you're Slayer 101. You need to listen to at least the first five.
Yeah, and my favorite songs are on Show No Mercy are actually the less heavy metal like based ones because the ones that are seem to be like the ones that older people like you seem to like, or the ones based in like Maiden, Priest, and all that. Which,
The final command is another big one for me.
yeah, the Final Command is one of my favorites off of that because it's basically proto Raining Blood, if you think about it.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's still metal, except for the voice is already more aggressive, but it's still heavy metal. A lot of it is, but I love it. I don't know. Hello Waits already was completely thrash. I completely changed.
Yeah, and I feel like there is still some heavy metal within Hell Awaits. It's just
There
more
it is.
refined, in my opinion.
It's all metal, regardless. You know that, of course, you know that. It's all metal, but yeah, it was a little more aggressive and more complete thrash. You know, but there's masterpieces on there, man. Kill It, Kill Again, Necrophobic or Necrophiliac, uh, Necrophobic. I always get those two mixed up. Necrophiliac, Hell Awaits, obviously. There's a bunch of songs on that album that rule. The whole album in itself is really
My favorite Slayer song for the longest time was Crypt of Eternity. And
great song.
how I found out about that song was I used to listen to Divine Intervention and back. I liked the later albums a bit more back then, but again, my tastes have changed
The
the
older
more
you
I
get
listen
it,
to music.
I went from metal to thrash to death metal back to heavy metal, which is what I predominantly listen to now. I'm starting to get more into brutal stuff again. And my friend, man, I hang out with my one of my friends here, Adrian, and his kids got a band. Great band, by the way. I want to plug them. Hatred Creation, old school death metal, and these dudes are like 21, 22, and 23. So it's like, and
That's amazing.
they're playing what needs to be played. Old school death metal.
Yeah,
They're
I
great.
love old school death metal the best. There's plenty of other genres I listen to as well. Not as much as other people, but my main thing is just like metal, like whether it be death metal, thrash, heavy metal.
Yeah,
I can't
I'm
do it
into.
with some genres, but overall, I think metal in general is my favorite genre, next to at least
Excuse me.
punk and goth rock.
I like a lot of New York hardcore. A lot of it.
That
A lot of
is,
it. It's like my
there
other
was like
genre. My other big genre, New York, especially New York hardcore is god, godly to me. I love it.
New York hardcore is my favorite scene within the hardcore punk thing, especially with Sick of It All and Biohazard. Those are my two favorites.
Mine would be my favorite one would be Agnostic Front. There's no doubt about that. And then Madball's really I love Madball. I mean, it helped that I got to tour with Agnostic Front with Madball singing for a little bit, so I got to know them all really well. So obviously that affects my fanhood. But aside from that, they're great fucking bands.
I have a bias for Sick of It All myself because,
Rest in peace, Luke Holland.
oh, of course, because Kaler, however you pronounce his last name, he was a very talented vocalist, and he
He
had
was
the
probably,
energy and all that.
if not the best, one of the best hardcore frontmen, and his energy's unmatched. Freddie Madball's pretty energetic too. So's Roger in his old way. Roger's an older generation guy. Well, Lou was a little had his age on him. It's just sad that he went because he was still kicking ass.
And my thing with Sick of It All is I've explained this before on my Facebook page, but that was the first band I had introduction to punk to outside of Green Day, because that's the only one I listened to before then.
Punk wise, I'm not. My one of my best friends, Jesus, is a real punk dude. I like GBH. I like the Exploited, which are not really punk anymore. But I like GBH a lot. GBH is one band that I like a lot.
Yeah, I like GBH too, but with Sick of It All, when I first heard them, I actually found that in like a CD booklet of mine that the family owned, which is just like it had DVDs, music CDs in there, some video.
Oh,
And I found this one with tribal tattoo on it for whatever reason, and I didn't know what it was. And so I just popped it in, expecting it to be like hard rock or at least metal, but I found Scratch the Surface by Sick of It All.
the
And
best song by far.
that
The
is
best
they're
thing with all of
my favorite as well. It's my favorite as well. But yeah, there's a lot of punk I like. Oh, what happened? Did we lose them?
Sorry, my phone rang. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. But
I'm gonna hold on.
yeah,
Let me
I
block that. All
all
right,
right.
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm done.
But I love a lot of punk. I'm not so much into like the MTV pop punk era because that
Yeah,
kind of
I
it's
was
annoying to me.
I was too. You're a young dude, so I get it. But I was just older already, and
Oh, we lost him again. I think it's the number again.
now where'd you go?
Oh, I'm right here. Uh,
Sorry, man. Yeah, I'm here. Don't hang up because I'm here. It's just these stupid phone calls, man.
yeah, I was still here, but again,
Yeah,
it's people
let
are
me.
annoying.
Yeah, let me see what I can do here to. Oh, hold on. Limit interruptions. Okay, hold on. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
All right, all right. Shoot, you can edit
All
this,
right.
right?
I think I can, but I usually like to do it raw.
All right. Well, hey guys, people keep calling. Sorry.
All right. So the next question I was going to ask you was, aside from Tommy Aldridge and Gene Hoglan, who you cite as your main influences, what else do you think helped you create your drum craft?
One man and one man helped me hands on like no one else did. His name was Sean Reiner. Sean Reiner, rest in peace. Without him, I don't become the drummer. Without him, Retribution doesn't come out that good because I have to sit in the studio and pretty much nitpick me, which he really didn't. He really didn't. I ended up nitpicking myself, and he yelled at me for it. Stop doing that. You're fine. Just keep going. I'll let you know. But without him, I don't do what I do.
Oh yeah, I love Cynic, and they were actually one of the first bands that got me more interested in the death metal. And I didn't hear their demos first; I heard Focus first, and that album to me, even if it's not as aggressive as their demos, it's
Not at
still
all.
amazing.
I'm a demo guy. I'll always be a demo guy. Since from the moment I seen him play, I saw him play at a house party. At the very beginning, their first demo was just out, and I saw Sean play, and that was it. My drumming changed for forever after that.
Yeah, he was a very talented drummer. I mean,
Amazing.
he also plays on Human after all, and that's whatever you think about that album.
I I
You
love
can't
it.
deny you can't deny that it's like their biggest accomplishment, both in
I
the
love it, and I was blessed. We used to have warehouses pretty much next to each other or close enough, and I got that to see that album be created. So it was awesome. But the Giorgio hung out with the Giorgio guy, with Chuck, with Paul. I was hung out with Paul and Chuck because they were always at the warehouse. But I mean, yeah, it was awesome. So I'm partial to that record. So I'm gonna agree with you 100%. Some people don't. That's on them. I love it. I think the playing went from 5 to 10 on that album as far as spiritual to that album, except for the leads, because James is a god. So the leads, were
ah,
were were better on spiritual.
yeah. James Murphy's leads are great. I would say that I prefer his leads on Cause of Death or Dreams of the Carrion Kind.
Yeah,
So
that's always going to be the best. That's his baby. I was lucky enough to do the demo for that album, and I didn't do the album because when he was doing it, I was doing the Resurrection album, so I was already committed to that, so I couldn't do it. But I got to do the demo, and in turn, James ended up doing solos on the first Solstice record, on like 3 songs or 4 songs. So we got him to do that, and that was fucking awesome. So James Murphy's on the Solstice record. What more could you ask for? So that was cool.
sick,
Yeah.
sick because I love Disincarnate, and I just love James Murphy's leads playing in general. There was one album I was trying to get into recently, but I think I got distracted. It's Death Shall Rise by Cancer, and I've known
He's
them
good on
before,
there.
but
I'm not a
I've
big
known them.
Cancer guy, but he rules.
Yeah, I'm not a
He
big
rules.
Cancer guy either. I like the debut, and I've liked what I've heard from Death Shall Rise. It's just that they're not special in any way to me.
Well, they're special. They're from an era that was special in general, so that makes them special. You know, they did that album and more sound that makes them even. So they did the one with cancer, fucking cancer, cancer, fucking cancer. I love that song though, and
It is a
yeah,
very good song though.
that
They're not
that
bad or anything, but
no, they're not bad at all. It's just not my cup of tea. But James made it better, obviously.
yeah, I agree. She also made Obituary better in my opinion. Not that Slowly We Rot sucks. It's just that to me it's a bit more messy and a bit more. It's a lot less fully realized than Cause of Death is.
That's what people like, though. I love Slowly We Rot. I saw them. They were still execution at this place called the Treehouse in Fort Lauderdale. And when I heard John, it was over, man. I never heard anything like that, and it was like, holy shit. And I love Slowly We Rot. It was done. It was a very low budget. It was done on 8 tracks, uh, and it still sounds fucking great. Uh, but yeah, Cause of Death is my favorite obituary record by far.
I I agree that Slowly We Rot sounds great, especially that guitar tone.
Well, it's
But
always been. It's always kind of there. That tone. That's like their tone, which is a derivative of Celtic froth of Celtic or Celtic, however you say. It's a derivative of that.
yeah, it's a very good guitar tone either way because it's so heavy.
Yeah, yeah,
So
definitely, definitely.
our next question, or my next question rather, is what was your first real band you started playing in? Because I remember looking up you on Mail Archives and you said you started playing in a school band. But aside from that, what was the first real band you did?
The first band we had was called Flair, which was an '80s metal band, I guess you could say. It was myself, Dennis Munoz from Solstice. We've been playing since that time. I think we were like 17 or 16. 15 to 17 or some area like that. Me and him. And then our bass player in Flair was Tony Choi.
Uh,
So,
is that the Atheist guy?
yeah, Tony Choi, my brother Tony Choi. We're all really good
That's
friends,
sick.
all three of us, still this day. As a fact, Tony played on a song on the last Solstice album. He played bass. I can't, off the top of my head, I have to look which one is it. I need to see the credit. But he played on a song on there. And yeah, so my first demo was with Tony. My last recording up till now was with Tony. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually never heard of. You said it was Flair.
Flare, like a flare gun. No, we had like 2 demos, but they're long since gone. Nobody has them.
Uh,
And then
I see.
after
That's probably
that,
why.
yeah, after that, I joined a band called Wreckage with Tony, and that was my first thrash band.
Sick.
Yeah, and that
And
was cool. And we had a demo, and it's long gone as well.
yeah, so I guess the first thing that like you really did that's available, I would say, would be the Solstice debut or the Solstice demos or whatever.
The demos would be the first thing. There was a demo that was out for a while pre-Solstice, which was before Rob joined. We had another dude singing named Sean Rogers from a big local band called Ambugalard. So he had quit Ambugalard and he got with us and we did a demo. The band was called Violent Art. And it was out there for a while. I have it, but I got to get it re-released or something because it's not out there anymore. And he died, Sean.
Okay.
May he rest in peace. He died, and he's great on it. So I would love to have it released.
Yeah, because I've known like I don't know exactly like people in the scene, but I know labels that might be interested to
Maybe
re-release it or whatever.
I haven't even thought about it. But now that we're talking about it, yeah, it might be a good idea to have that out. It's a good demo. It's very thrash. It has no death metal overtones or undertones like Solstice does yet. Because that was when I got into Napalm and Terrorizer and all that. That it was over for me. And then Rob got into the same thing, and we just went nuts. And we still kept it thrashy because our roots are thrash, But yeah, it was another style was born. Solstice was born.
Yeah, because I was thinking if you do have audio of it or at least audio files of it, I could upload the whole thing and like that's how I could show people to it. Because I've
Yeah,
uploaded songs before
if
and all
if
that.
I if I don't, Dennis does, and I'll get it from him because I think he fixed it up a little because it sounded a little messed up because it was an old recording, and he kind of cleaned it up. So yeah, I'll get it from him, and I'll get with you, and we'll do that. I wouldn't mind having that out.
Awesome, because I know that there are some demos that haven't remastered since that the originals are just completely unlistenable, but I haven't
They are. It was really
exactly.
the tape was warped. It was like, wow. It was making that noise, and I don't know how he cleaned it up, but he did.
I see. Because I know a band that has demos like that. I haven't heard the demos myself. I've just heard they're very, very lo-fi stuff. A black metal band called Abigor had demos that are basically you can't even like hear the riffs or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what sucks about recording. Especially a lot of bands four track recorded demos because they didn't have any money. None of us did, but like that Violent Night demo was actually done at Morrison,
Oh
so we,
wow.
we we had to save up with our little jobs to pay for it, and we did, and yeah, so that saves it a little. But some bands, we four tracked a bunch of shit before we got in there, and it's not audible. It sounds like shit.
That's a shame, but at least your bandmate fixed it up for you. Was his name
Yeah, yeah.
Sean?
No, Dennis Munoz, the
Oh,
guitar player.
Dennis.
He's in Solstice, yeah.
Yeah. So
And
my
he's a
next
producer. He's
question.
produced a bunch of shit. And he's a very good producer too. But anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay, but my next question would be, how did you get the job in Malevolent Creation, and were you nervous when they invited you to play in their band?
So that job had been off and on, like we talked about it for a while, and finally I got asked, and I said yes with the condition that Barrett came with me. So that's why me and Rob joined. And no, I wasn't nervous because I was a huge fan of the band. Literally, we practiced. Let's say I got hired Friday. We practiced on Sunday, and the following Friday we played a show because I knew all the songs. I would go to every show. I was a fan of the band, so it was pretty easy to know everything. I did. I knew it. I knew some rehearsal was just like me going over the songs.
Yeah, and those songs, again, your performance on them elevated them
And this is
in a long way.
talking about Ten Commandments because we hadn't written anything for Retribution yet, and Ten Commandments. Yeah, I knew the whole thing. It was easy. From the demos, I knew all the songs.
Yeah, and some of the band members on those demos went on to be in Monstrosity, which there's kind of like a going thing between Monstrosity and Malevolent Creation, but I kind of prefer them equally.
I love Monstrosity, especially the first album. The last album, holy crap, that shit's good. That last album, Lee
So
rules.
my
He's a good friend, and that band rules. And so is Mark Van Erp, who there it goes again. Mark Van Erp was in Malevolent, in Monstrosity, and he played on the Solstice record. He was a bass player on the first record.
Yeah, I've spoken with Lee Harrison before. I think he'll be hopefully a future guest on here, but I
Awesome.
haven't talked to him about it. But
Lee rules. He'll do it for sure. He rules.
awesome, because with Monstrosity, a lot of people seem to like Millennium a lot. I like it too. It's probably the one I own along with my second favorite, In Dark Purity.
That's amazing too.
And some people like complain that that one's a bit long or whatever, but
Doesn't
I like
matter.
it back to front.
It's good. That's all that matters.
And it's fucking heavy. And even if Corpse Grinder isn't in the picture, Jason Every from Eulogy, he does a fantastic job.
Wow. That bass player, the bass player that played on that played on Symbolic, which is Kelly Conlon, and I played with Kelly in a band called Sargon years later. So another good friend of mine.
Sweet, because my actual favorite is one that I heard Mark hates for whatever reason. It's Imperial Doom, which is his debut.
I, I think he doesn't like the production. I don't think he hates it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he does. I haven't talked to him about that. We haven't gotten that far in conversation. But I know the production is kind of weird, especially being Morristown. But that album's it's another band. Was with them throughout the demo, throughout them being created at least how Lee and Mark lived together. Me and Rob were always there. So it was like I grew up listening to that, so that album's got a special place in my heart.
Yeah, and the thing with the production on it is that I could hear everything pretty clearly, but I think at the time I could understand why it wouldn't be as favorable. But I could hear like the bass, the drums, the guitars, even the vocals very clearly.
I think the guitars are the only thing I would say are a little high endy, but it doesn't make a difference. I think it sounds great.
Yeah, it does sound amazing, and that has my favorite Monstrosity song on it, "Vicious Mental First."
Ah, good song. Hell yeah. Now that whole
And
album
it's
rules. My favorite Monstrosity song is Manic. I love Manic, which is not on that album, but I love that song.
yeah, I love Millennium too. It's probably my least favorite of the first three, if only because I actually prefer the production on Imperial Doom.
Wow. I have to check out
I
Millennium. I haven't listened to Millennium in a long time, but it's a very good album. I remember that much.
It is a very good album, and I do like it. I understand that they were going for a more technical direction, but usually tech death isn't my thing unless it's very old school, and that's one of the albums I prefer in the tech death genre because it is a very old school album. It's just old school stuff. But if I want technical death metal, I'm just gonna stick with Hallucinations by Atrocity.
That's another very underrated band. For me, Tech Death will always, and it's because, again, we played with them and I was around them a bit and stuff. Atheist. Now, for a piece of time is a masterpiece.
That is my favorite album by Atheist as well. I think the other ones are good. It's just that
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not
of course.
nearly as it's just that they're not nearly as memorable or have the same staying power as Piece of Time.
I just, from the moment I got that album back in those days, I wore it out. So it's the one all that era holds a special place in my heart. So all those albums mean a lot to me. They helped me grow in this genre for a while.
Hmm.
But
So the next,
Atrocity is a very good band. And I know they've gotten goofy here and there, but they're bad. I love them.
yeah, I love the first two not Atrocity, the first two
Atrocity.
Atrocity
Yeah.
albums, but I've kind of heard Blood or whatever it's called, and I checked out because
It's weird. It's weird. Yeah. It's
it's
definitely.
weird. I just don't like it when metal bands start playing death metal, but then just go off into like a weird goth direction. Which there are bands I like of that caliber. Tiamat did it. Catatonia did it. I love those bands, but for some reason, Atrocity just like made songs that weren't very good to listen to.
Yeah, the first two albums and the guitar song, everything about that band at first was amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, and before we go on to our next question, I would like to ask you this. I guess this is a question technically, but it's not the ones I have listed. But which Atrocity album do you prefer? Hallucinations or Toa Sensect?
Hallucinations.
Same here because to me
Hallucinations.
it's the only one of their albums that sounds fucking terrifying in my opinion
It's
because
a, it's
beginning
a,
to end,
it's got a scary thing to it. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
yeah, and considering the concept of that album, the story it tells, it's very fitting.
I'm gonna reprise that when we're done here. I'm gonna reprise it and listen because it's been a while. But I do remember it having that very dark tone to it. Very somber,
Yeah,
very, very, very scary, actually.
it is very scary, and again, it's fitting because the lyrics. I'm not sure if you remember like what
Probably
their
not.
lyrics tell, but essentially what it was is that I hope I don't get demonetized when I say this or tell the story of it because it is very morbid. But I'll just say it's about a girl who gets addicted to drugs and gets addicted and like goes into prostitution before eventually ending her life because the beginning of the song the first song on the album is basically retelling the story of her getting abused by her father.
Uh,
And I'm just saying
I gotta,
abused.
I gotta reprise it. I don't remember, but I do. I will always remember the fact that felt super dark and super, super evil. Super. It had a vibe to it for sure.
Yeah, it's the vibe as well, but just like the lyrics that I was reading the lyrics and it isn't your typical standard death metal lyrics, but it's also like still morbid. It just tells a very sad story in a very sympathetic way, and I thought that was very forthcoming for them.
Oh shit! Man, I gotta stop hitting buttons here. Hold on. There
You
you
got
are.
it.
All right. Anyways, yeah. It's a great album. Great album. Hallucinations by far of the two.
Yeah, and I like Toe Sensic, but not nearly as much. It just sounds like more mellow and it's way more
Like
moodier in the way that like
like their story. They changed up a lot, and then they put out an album. I can't remember the name of the song. That one song. It's got a bunch of keyboards and shit, but goddamn, it's dark again, and it's fucking it's heavy. It got heavy again. That was a couple albums ago, I think. But they keep changing. They're an experimental band to say the least.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything past Blood. I just heard Blood and just like decided I'm done with this band in a way.
Not too familiar with that one, but I do remember me kind of doing the same thing, saying that's it, I'm done, because it started changing too much. Now as I'm older, I should go back and reprise all that crap because I probably like it.
Sweet, and I think you mentioned this before, but did you contribute to any songs on Retribution or Stillborn?
Slaughter of Innocence, Coronation of Our Domain, and Ice, I believe. Now, Stillborn, no, I wasn't even in the band. They had problems with their drummer. The real story. They had problems with their drummer, and I was playing football. I wasn't even playing drums, really. And I got a call from Tony Choi calling me that Phil was looking for me. And Phil was pretty much begged me to do the album. And not the story that he says that Larry should have redone it. No, he fired Larry and hired me to do the album. So let's
Oh,
set the record straight. He's full of shit. He fired Larry and hired me to do the album, and I was not even ready to play. I hadn't played in like a year, but we got it done. I did the best I could. The production on that album was fucking crap. Produced by Phil Fascetta. Fucking crap. I have no problems with him anymore. We get along, but he likes to talk a little too much.
yeah, but it's been a while since I've heard Stillborn. I think I heard it a couple months ago, and I liked it, but the production is very weird.
He these that band Hatred Creation, they love that. A lot of people love that album, and they play it, and I'm like, nah, dude, don't please. It just it's really good. I can't surpass the production. I think it sucks.
Yeah, and so what you were saying was that you're basically a session member on that album?
Pretty much. Then I came back to the band, and we did that. I stayed. We did a couple tours, and then I was gone again. But
Oh, I see.
yeah, yeah. I never had a problem with Phil, but I'm not going to go into details because this is not about that. But he likes to talk a lot of crap.
Uh, oh, I bet. I've heard
Uh,
stories about him. I haven't met the guy personally, but I think on my previous Facebook account, which got hacked, sadly, I was friendly with him there. So
yeah,
I have nothing
he
against him.
he won't be a
I
dick
just
to you. He won't be a dick. This is with the band members, and you could go. Some of them won't tell you, but most of them will tell you the same thing I'm telling you. So, but not he's not. I'm not going to say he's a dick to fans because that wouldn't be true. That'd be a fucking lie.
I see. Because I do believe the shit talking part because there was an interview, like it was the Fine Art of Murder tour, and that was when they kicked Jason out or Jay or whatever his name is,
Uh,
and he was telling like a story about like how he got up on stage, not to get political or anything, and wore a
yeah,
KKK
yeah.
shirt,
No, I know the
and
story.
then he beat him up for it.
Whoever and I said something about Phil because he likes to talk a lot. But any other band, there's people I don't get along with from that lineup. There's people that I love, and I just won't talk about him. But Phil, I just had to say something because he likes to talk so much nonsense, dude. But that's about it. So we'll get off
All
that
right.
topic for now. Go on to the next question.
Well, will do. And this is our 20 questions break.
All right.
So again, I just give you an either or question. You can just say which one without elaborating, but you can elaborate if you want to.
No, I won't. I won't because I'll end up talking too much. Go for it.
All right. So first one, hot dogs or hamburgers,
Hamburgers,
pizza or pasta,
pasta,
cats or dogs,
dogs,
movies or books,
movies,
death or Campbell Corpse,
death.
Lee Harrison or Sean Reiner.
That's not fair, man. But Sean Reiner, but I love Lee Harrison. There you go. I'll elaborate that.
All right. Physical or streaming?
Streaming now. It's hard for me to get to the movies a lot now. So physical, the movies kind of suck now. So
Yeah, that goes for movies or music, by the way. So
I stream music. I stream music. I'm guilty of Spotify. Yes.
yeah, it's fine. We all have our preferences and all that. The Simpsons or Family Guy?
Family Guy.
Oh wow, I didn't. Uh,
I lo-
incantation or
Again,
immolation.
I love them both. Ah, you're killing me, man. All right, I love them both. Simpsons and Family Guy, but I like Family Guy better. Incantation or immolation? Incantation. And I love immolation.
Uh, Exodus or testament.
Exodus.
Good choice. Metallica or Megadeth.
Metallica. Boo to Megadeth. Oh my god, I'm gonna get killed for them.
Don't worry, I have similar opinions. We'll get into that another day. But tacos or burritos.
Burritos.
Short or long sleeves.
Long sleeves. Addicted. Obsessed.
Star Wars or Star Trek.
Trek. Trek.
Predator or Alien.
Alien.
Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone.
Sly, baby, all the way.
All right, this one might be a bit controversial, but stay with me. Iced Earth or Blind Guardian.
Iced Earth all day, no controversy. I don't like Black Guardian. Iced Earth. I support John Schaffer. Whoever hates it can go fuck themselves.
I respect it, but
Yep.
Pestilence or Asphyx.
Pestilence.
Sweet or sour.
Sour.
And this is the final one. We could actually have a conversation about this. Demolition Hammer or Devastation from Texas.
That's not fair because in one, I was part of Demolition Hammer for a little bit. So I'm going to pick Demolition Hammer, but motherfucker, I love Devastation. Idolatry is a masterpiece. A masterpiece.
I love them both, but
Me
I
too.
prefer
Me too.
Devastation a bit more because again, when I first heard Idolatry, I was like, this is one of the most again innovative, more creative things you get with Death Thrash, and I love Death Thrash in general. But Demolition Hammer came first into my life, and when I heard Epidemic of Violence, I was just like, this is so brutal and so devastating. I haven't heard like any thrash band like that. I haven't even heard Sodom be that brutal, which I love Sodom, but Demolition Hammer is pretty much breeds them in the brutality more.
So I moved to New York with that band Wreckage in 87. Was it 87? Yes. 87 through 80, almost 89. And I went to a club called Streets. And when I went to Streets, I saw this band that blew me away. We were starving. We didn't even have money. I had like $5 in my pocket. And I had to buy their demo because they blew my fucking mind. And that was the Necrology demo, Demolition Hammer. So to get to play with them years after, I was going to do another project that I was talking to the guys about. I won't mention it. And as soon as I got the call, you want to record a Demolition Hammer? I'm like, all right, this project is done. I got to go to New York. I wasn't going to say no because I love that band. I love that
Yeah,
band.
me too. I haven't heard the album you played on, I'll be honest, but I love the first two. Probably
Well,
equally, but if I
the
had to
thing,
choose, I'll let you go.
no, go ahead, go ahead. Which one do you choose?
I choose Tortured Existence just because a bit
Me
more
too.
it's a bit more Exodus influence, whereas Epidemic of Violence they came into their own thing, but whenever they do Exodus riffs, I am just so for that because I fucking love Exodus.
So do I, man. Even though that Goliath album sucks, I do have to say that. But that new
Which
album's
album?
pretty. The new one, I don't like it.
I haven't heard it. I've only heard a few tracks from it. I've heard the second single, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna check this out.
And it's not the singer because Rob Dukes, the albums he did before were pretty good. It's not him. It's just the riffs are blah, blah, whatever. Anyways, yeah. So the album that I did with Demolition Hammer, they were changing the name of the band. They wanted to call the band Blowtorch. It's totally different. It's groove oriented. It's slower. That I get flack for it, and I don't care. I think it's awesome. But the label made him call it Demolition Hammer. The album's called Time Bomb, but the band was going to be called Blowtorch. That ended up being the name of a song on the album, but it wasn't supposed to be a Demolition Hammer album.
Oh, I see. Because that's probably why I didn't listen to it because I heard that was groove metal, and I usually don't mess with
It's
groove metal like that. If only
it's not the
because
type.
that.
It's not groove metal. Would you? It's heavy. It's not. And there's some fast songs. There's a couple of fast songs. It's not like it doesn't sound like Pantera. If that's what you think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I can't do it with Pantera. Not anymore, at least.
I love that band. I always will. I loved them from before Cowboys from Hell. The album before Power Metal's my favorite album. Then they lost me after after Vulgar. By the time of Far Beyond Driven, when I first heard it, I was blown away, but I got over it, and they lost me after that. But I'm a Pantera fan, and I know elitists don't like that, but I don't care.
I do like some of that groove metal stuff, but for me with Pantera, I do love power metal, and I do really like Cowboys from Hell.
Now, I will say Exhorder over Pantera till the day I die. That's one of my favorite bands. That's another
Uh,
death thrash band that is up there with Demolition Hammer and Devastation. I like Exhorder probably both more than both those two bands. I love Exhorder. Love it.
well, that's interesting because I've spoken to some people about not necessarily your drumming, but about Malevolent Creation in general, and they say they really love Retribution because of the X Order influence.
Yeah, the song Coronation was definitely influenced by Cadence of the Dirge from Exhorder. Definitely.
Yeah, because I always viewed you as like Demolition Hammer turned up to 11, but I guess the X Order influence makes sense.
Yeah, I love them. I love them. Love that band from the day Scott Burns gave me the pre-release before it was out. He gave me a promo copy, and I think I wore it out that whole stay I was in Morristown, and I wore it out all the way home, and I wore it out for quite a few months after that. Love that record.
Yeah, because I need to listen to X Order again. It's been so long since I've heard him, but
That first
again,
Slaughter
I've
in the
been
Vatican is perfect. On the Law is where the Pantera ripping him off thing comes, which I could see it. I'm not gonna lie, so, especially since Phil was a big Exhorter fan, supposedly. But it's Exhorter's better. Sorry,
yeah, I like X Order better too, just from memory. But I've listened to Cowboys from Hell more times because
it's a
at one
great
point
album.
they were my favorite band, Pantera, but that was when I was really young and getting into metal.
I love it. I love Cowboys from Hell. I think Vulgar Side A is really good. Side B doesn't do anything for me. And then there's songs on Far Beyond Driven. The first three are killer. Then the song Slaughtered, which really sounds like Exhorter, is really good. But it sounds like
Yeah,
Exhorter. He sounds like Kyle
the
Thomas
one
on that big time.
the one song that I can't get behind that on that record is what was it called? Good old ball of pills and
Yeah,
friends or whatever.
good friends on a bottle of pills or whatever the hell it's called.
That one was just so unserious and just so dumb that I couldn't
But they had
excuse
fun.
me liking it.
They had songs like that from Vulgar because I think Cowboys is pretty much good all the way through.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's also kind of why I kind of dipped off with Vulgar Display of Power. I do like some songs from it, but overall, it's not a masterpiece.
the first side is I'm talking when I got it, it had sides. I had the tape. So the first side was amazing. Then the second side kind of tails off. It kind of sucks.
Does the first side have This Love on it? Because that's probably my favorite Pantera song
Yeah.
post
It's like
Cowboys.
Mouth for War, a new level. This not here. Say oh my god. It's got This Love. It's got Rise is the last song on first side. It's time to rise or rise. I think it's called. There's one I'm missing. I can't remember now what it is. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
got.
yeah, I enjoy Rise a lot. I did not like that song for a while, if only because the chorus just seems like it's phoned in. Not that I'm
Time
saying that
to
they're,
rise, rise. Yeah,
but
it's
it is
phoned.
catchy, I will say.
That is the correct word you just used right there. That second side of that album seems phoned in, like they just didn't care.
Yeah, and again with Pantera, everyone has their favorite records. Some people love the glam stuff. Didn't really do much for me, but I love.
Power metal's not glam though. They looked with the T's there and shit, but that record's heavy. It's just a good metal record. Before that, yes, okay, they were kind of hair metalish, but
Yeah,
power metal is not. It's not. It's not. It's not.
I wasn't saying power metal was glam metal. It was just that the ones before that didn't do much for me.
No, I hear you. It's a different singer. I hear you. Phil took him to the next level. He really did. Whether you love the guy or hate him, I think he's killer. I've met him a couple times and he's always been super nice to me. I think he's killer. But whether you love or hate him, he took that band to another level.
Yeah,
And
and
that's the truth.
he is a great singer. I will say that much.
Not much anymore, but you know, things change. But he's still good for what he does. I mean, no knock. Saw him with Down. 2014 was the last time I saw him with Down. I have a picture of that. That was in Milwaukee, and they ruled. He ruled.
Oh, I bet because Phil back then was pretty talented, especially
Yeah, he
on
was.
my fair Pantera song has his best vocal performance in my opinion. I think it's called Shattered.
Yeah, Shattered is good, of course. Shattered and yeah, Shattered. The first song on side two. There I go again with the sides. Yes, Shattered. Yeah,
Yeah,
side
and
one ends at the side one ends on Domination. Side two is Shattered. Yeah, it's when he can still do all the highs, dude. Cemetery Gates. He's on fire.
I've actually had this conversation with a bunch of people before, and they get disappointed when I tell them that if I could never hear one Pantera song again, it would be Cemetery Gates. It's not that it's a bad song; it's just
You've
that
heard it too much.
yeah, I have heard it too much. That's just
That's
like I
like
just
that's like me with Kiss. If I never hear Rock and Roll All Night again, I'll be the happiest dude ever. I can't stand that song. I'm to the point where I hate the song nowadays. I can't listen to it.
yeah, I'm kind of the same with some classic rock bands because I used to getting more into music. I loved Kiss, and I'm indifferent to them now. I understand that they're very influential to a lot of bands, especially
I
the
grew
ones I
up
love.
with it. Without Kiss, I don't get into anything, and that's just the truth.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same for me because it's like there was some pretty, I'm not gonna mince words here, terrible alternative rock, alternative metal, whatever you want to call it, music that I liked growing up, and I feel like that was a gateway to more extreme, harder stuff. Like, do I really hate a band like I don't know Chevelle? But would I really go out of my way to listen to them again? No.
I no, I don't. Uh, no, no. I mean, but it's you're younger than me. By the time all that came out, I had albums out already. So it was like, I was into it, and I'm a stubborn metalhead, man. As open as I sound now talking to you. It's not true. I'm a very stubborn metalhead. I like what I like, and that's it.
Yeah, because I'm then I was way more close minded 5 or 6 years ago because I would always like have this elitist attitude to where it's like if you don't exactly listen to what I listen to, you're not a real metalhead or whatever, and that's bullshit. Like everyone
That's
has their own
bullshit.
tastes, everyone
Everybody goes through
has
that.
their own
Everybody goes
preference.
through that. Everybody goes through that phase. So, oh, if you don't listen to what I listen to, you're a poser. You know what I mean? Stupid.
Yeah, and I've had have friends that I think personally suck. Like I have a friend, she's been my best friend since like 9 or 10 years or whatever. She likes Lamb of God, and I do not like that band at all.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I
Sorry.
think she also likes a couple other stuff. Like as much as I love the Machine Head debut, she does like later albums by them, but I can't do it with a
I
lot
like
of
burn.
that
I
stuff.
like. I like burn my eyes. I like burn my eyes a lot. When I
Burn
got
My Eyes.
from Scott too, he gave it to me a promo copy, and I love that record too. But that's it. After that, they lost. The more things change is like a poor man's version of Burn My Eyes, and then after that, they lost me. I'm gone.
Yeah, with Burn My Eyes, it's the one that actually has the aggression of it, and it's not like you could tell Rob Flynn was jumping on the new metal trend
Yeah,
then,
totally, totally, totally.
and it kind of like went overkill with the album after the Burning Red or whatever, where he was
Yeah,
just
they were
rapping and
all new
shit.
metal. It's all about the blood, the sweat, whatever the fuck that song is. It was on the radio all the time. When I worked at Hooters, and they always had it on in the back. So
Yeah, I don't like that song or anything out that album to be honest with you. It's it's again it's very new metal-ish, and new metal isn't exactly the worst thing I've heard. I mean, it's the one thing I grew up with, but again, it's like one of those bands where it's just like, if I never heard them again, would I be upset? The answer would be no.
exactly. Exactly. 100
There
percent
is
with you.
some. I went over this in my previous video. It was 5 or 6 bands that I like that you wouldn't expect me to. And I've talked about this before. I do really like Deftones, but I don't consider them a new metal band. And I've explained why I don't consider them such. Because they have a different background. They don't exactly fit into the new metal category sound wise. It's
They
just
just the
way
era where
different than that.
the era where they came out, they're going to be lumped in. But they're going to be lumped in, you know. But that's the guitar player Dennis loves the Deftones. I don't particularly like it. I can't stand Gino Moreno's vocals, man. Sounds like he's whining all the time. But I mean, that's his taste, dude. That's his taste. I like people that yell really high. People can't stand that shit. I like Manowar. Nobody likes Manowar.
I like Manowar. I like
I
Manowar a
love fucking
lot.
Manowar. Love Manowar.
I like, but I will say this. I'll put an asterisk next to that and say I like. What's the one after Sign of the Hammer, Fighting the World or whatever?
Yeah, yeah.
I like that and then backwards.
I like them all, man. I'm very into that band. Louder Than Hell's a great album. Thunder in the Sky is a great EP. I just love that band, dude. I'm a fan. I'm a mega fan.
Yeah, I've never heard anything past
Fighting the World. It's called that out.
not Fighting the World, but after the one afterwards, which felt a little
Well,
half baked to me because again,
which one
it
follows
feels.
Fighting? Isn't it Louder Than? No, it's not Louder Than Hell. That's way after. I don't remember now. But I
I
love
can
that
look it
band.
up
Yeah, yeah, go for it because I'm curious.
because I don't remember shit off the top of my head, and some metalheads would be like, oh, if you don't remember off the top of your head, whatever. It's some people are idiots.
My introduction to them was Into Glory, right, which is the second album. Then I got into the Manowar, Manowar. But then, dude, since I heard them, I've always been in them.
So it was Kings of Metal, and that one, it's not
Oh,
bad, it's
that
just
album ruled.
corny.
What the man? Shoot me in the head. That album rules, dude.
Yeah, and I understand why people like it. It's just that that's kind of where they get way over the top of cheesy for me, towards like I can't
Dude,
even handle this.
it's that, and then the album, and the first side is too conceptual in a way, but when they got that dude playing drums, Kenny Rhino Earl, on fucking Triumph of Steel. Triumph of Steel is one of my favorite Manowar records. Side B, on the contrary, side B of that record is amazing.
Yeah, I like Tramp of Steel as well. It's just that by that point I didn't really care about them. And
Yeah, I
I've
hear
heard this
you.
stuff. I've heard all this stuff way before it came out because again, I just turned 24 and
Yeah, you're young,
when I
dude.
yeah, and when I first got into metal, that was when I was 12, 13.
Skyler.
So I've been into this since I was for about 10 or 11 years, I would say.
Good, man. Good. You got your best years of metal are ahead of you. I hope. I hope this music doesn't get too. I hope AI doesn't take over everything.
Yeah, I think all that AI bullshit is it's nonsense.
There's only
You can't
one.
replace.
There's only one thing AI that I like is when they get those metal covers and turn them into like funk. I think it's hilarious, but that's a joke. When you're trying to create using artificial, you're not creating. You're telling a machine, "Do this for me, do that for me." Who's writing what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for music it's really really bad, and for art in general it's terrible.
The art looks
But
like
I
shit
have
though.
it does, and from what I've heard from friends at least, AI can do good in medical fields. Like it can help like find the
It can
cure for
help you mix,
cancer and all
produce.
that.
There's things that it can do musically, just not to use it to create things that you can't create, which is basically what's happening. These people can't write on their own, so they go use AI to help them out. It may be easier, but it ain't right.
Yeah, I would figure that like it does have a good place in music. It's just that you can't use it to create the music yourself because it
Exactly.
sounds artificial.
Exactly.
Well,
That's what I'm telling you.
our next question is, I think we touched on this a bit earlier, but we could try and make it quick because
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
kind of
sure if
have
you
to.
would want to talk about it. But after Malevolent Creation, were you happy about the experience of playing with them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Best times of my life. First
Yeah,
real tour I went on was with them, and all the tours we went on were great. Best times of my life.
yep, and I would expect that because that is some of the best death metal I ever heard. I would say that you're
Thank you.
right behind, or at least Malevolent Creation is, because you were only involved with two albums, to be
Yeah.
fair. But with Malevolent Creation, they're nowadays my second favorite New York death metal band. First is Immolation.
Yeah, I hear you. Immolation rules. Again, you ask me incantation or immolation. I love them both, but I'm a little more partial to incantation, but I love immolation too. I love Down of
Yeah,
Possession is one of my favorite albums.
I love Incantation too. I'm just a little more picky with them than I used to be because I used to go around pretty much worshiping that band, and now I kind of only revisit two albums by them. It's Onward to Golgotha and Diabolical Conquest.
Diabolical
And for
Conquest is really good, man. It's like a really good
and for
album.
me, the reason of that, the reason behind it rather, is because I'm just sip of water real quick.
Go for it, bro. Don't worry about it. I've been sneezing and coughing up a storm, yawning for some fucking reason.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that, but
Because I'm covering my mouth. So I don't go,
with
ah.
with Incantation, I feel like there's not much you could do with the sound, and they have like what
No, they are
15
what they
albums right
are.
now.
They are what they are, and they don't fuck around. That's what they do. And that makes me love them because they're no nonsense.
Yeah, I say understand the appeal of like their sound and all that. I love the sound as well, but there's only so many albums I can listen to by
Yeah,
them before I'm
I,
just like I'm tired of this.
I get that too. I get that too.
And next question would be, what are you currently doing now?
Right now, I'm recovering. I got sick. I'm recovering from that, and then 2027 might be a good year for Solstice again.
That
Is what I
sounds good.
think.
Do you have anything planned for Solstice?
Not yet, but stay tuned. We will soon.
Hopefully,
There,
because I would
there's
love
some
to see
there's some
Solstice
big
live.
big things that have been talked about that might have. Yeah, if anything happens, it's going to be Solstice.
Sweet. And anything that occupies you now outside music?
Game of Thrones.
Oh,
uh,
oh, I never
watching
watched
show,
that.
dude. Neither did I. Neither did I. And I finally did. My niece was like, "You got to," and I did. That shit's fucking sick, dude. Sick.
Last show I binged watched, I don't remember because I haven't watched much of anything last time. Like this, the last thing I've watched was a cartoon from my era. It was the first version of Teen Titans from
Oh wow, I've actually seen
2003,
that. It's good. I've seen that.
and
Oh, you know what I did watch
I,
yesterday? As a matter of fact, yesterday, the new Spider-Man movie's pretty fucking good.
yeah, I'm more of a movie guy than a TV show guy,
Oh.
but I've seen a lot of movies this year that have impressed me.
I didn't like Master. A lot of people like Masters of the Universe. I kind of didn't like it. Mortal Kombat, I didn't like, and then I watched it again, and I do like it. Uh, but Spider-Man was really good. Spider-Man was really good.
I have to see this new Spider-Man movie. The one movie that I didn't get as much as everyone else, and I think it was because I had a bad experience in the movie theater, so I have to watch it again. So this is not my full opinion. It's still a rough draft of it, I would say. But the new movie called Obsession, I wasn't very into it.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I got to see that.
I understand why people like it a lot, but when people hype it up as like the most disturbing film that you ever seen, I'm just like, it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth a bit.
Eh,
And the fact
eh,
that the theater I saw it in was extremely loud, and there was a lot of like loud noise within the film. It just distracted me so much from like the actual
It's
plot point at
when
hand.
they say the scariest movie you've ever seen. They usually it doesn't ever live up to it. Ever.
I agree
The
because
scariest movie I've ever seen, and I will go to my grave, is called The Exorcist, and that's it.
that was that was like the top three movies that actually instilled fear in me.
Yes,
Or rather,
it still bothers me, and I'm 55 years old. It still bothers the hell out of me.
yeah, and my grandma never watches horror movies because of The Exorcist.
I believe it.
She had she had that on VHS, and her husband he slept with the lights on after watching it.
It's pretty terrible. I had a girlfriend once that she was terrified of it, and we went to Universal Studios and the horror exhibit with all the heads. When she saw that shit, I had to take her out. She had a nervous breakdown. It affects people really bad. It does.
it affected me really bad. And I knew what to expect, but it was very unsettling. And
Yeah,
the
it
other
is. It
the other
is.
two, one of them was more grotesque, and one of them was actually like terrifying. The first one is a more obvious one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was the very first horror movie I ever saw,
Yeah,
and now I
it was
watch
cool
it
when I
kind
was.
of.
I'm not big into horror anymore. Not anymore. But you know what I did like, and I like the series better than the last movie. The It series was pretty good.
Oh, I still have to watch that.
Yeah, and now they have a new one called whatever the name of the town is where they live. I have to see that. But the one that they put out before was pretty good. Was pretty good. I like it better than the movie. It's more. It's creepier.
Yeah, and then the second one I was going to mention, it was actually one I got into because of the band Imitago. It
Okay.
was Campbell Holocaust,
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
and that movie it still fucks me up because I watched it again, and the real life animal death scenes, whether you want to say it was poor choice, I personally think it was poor choice, but he did later went on to say that again, that was a fuck up on his part, the director. But the plot of that movie is just like very interesting, and it disturbs you
I would
just
have
because
to
it
watch it
shows
again.
you
I
because
watched
again it
that
just shows you.
years ago, skipping school. I was still in school. I watched that movie. And I believe, and yeah, I don't remember it. I have to watch it again.
And again, as I was saying, but it just shows you like how scary humanity could be and how terrifying. Basically, what I got from the movie is that you don't really want to know the details of something unless you're, even if you're curious, it's probably best to not see them for yourself. Or some answers are best some answers are better left unanswered.
Exactly. I agree. I agree.
And this will be the final question for the day, or for the interview rather.
Yeah.
And it's just any final comments, questions, or concerns. Do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, I want to plug Hatred Creation, the band again. AJ, Levi, and Cam. Three great kids. Up and coming death metal band. If you like it raw, heavy, and with no bullshit, that's a band to watch. Wherever they play, I'll try to be there with them. I'm trying to back them up as much as I can. And everybody just keep your ear out. Something nice might be coming out soon from Solstice. Aside from that, keep it metal and never not be metal. That's it.
Yeah, anyways, this was Into the Underground, and we will see you next time. Again, everyone stay metal, stay true.
Yes, sir.